morning, Story Trading VIPs. It's Tuesday morning, January 31st, the day before FOMC, 2 days before we get lots of earnings from all the mega cap companies. We do have some interesting catalysts today, some actionable trade ideas. Some I already took. Let's take a look at that in just a second. First, you can see QQQ and SPY up slightly here with FOMC tomorrow and earnings coming up Thursday. I don't expect any big moves today. So could there be like a dump near the end of the day or tomorrow morning before FOMC? Maybe. But right now, it's the same story as yesterday with these moving averages and at critical levels. So we'll have to see if earnings and FOMC deliver. I have my doubts. I feel we've come too far too fast and we need a pullback. I will also let you know that there was some news out of Samsung right here. You can see Samsung here, which has not opened yet. But if you dig into the news here, they had operating profit fall 69% on lower tech demand. I think they also cited lower smartphone demand. So that could possibly be a sign of something bad coming for Apple. So just be careful, be wary of that heading into earnings season. Definitely more risk. Now, lots of interesting trade ideas, man. Where do we start? Let's start with lithium. LAC, Lithium Americas. They have a $650 million investment from GM to invest in their Nevada lithium mines. Now, at first blush, it looks great. It looks like, hey, that's the sort of catalyst that the stock can just gap and run all day long. $650 million divided by the $3 billion market cap, and this is an equity investment. That's a pretty significant chunk of their market cap. So it looks like something that should be market moving all day long. Now, I took a look at the news, though, and if you dig into this, if you dig into the PR details, there's a couple issues here. First of all, it's in two tranches, the $650 million, and they're both contingent. So the first tranche payment has not even been made yet. The first payment, I don't know if we can get into the original article, but it's contingent on a couple things, one of them being a court case. And I don't know the details of that. Something in district court. There's something in district court here. Let me see if it's in here at the bottom of this one. Or maybe in the other one. I think there were two press releases, one from GM and one from LAC. I'm not sure which one it's in. But in any case, it's contingent on a district ruling. It's also contingent on some other things. The second payment is contingent on them getting enough financing to develop the mine. So there's a lot going on here. It's not like they're getting $650 million cash up front. There's also no price assigned to the equity. So when I saw that, I sold half my position. I got in at like 24.20 and I sold half at like 24.70. I still have the other half, but let's look at the, so not as good. It's not as clean. Like if this was a straight up $650 million cash for equity deal, this one would be off to the races. It would gap and run. I think you'd probably break that 200 DMA at 24.64 and just keep going. But because it's not yet a solid $650 million coming in, this gets a little bit trickier to trade. So let's just look at those levels. You do have resistance at 24.60. If you move to the weekly, then the next level is at 25.20 or so, 25.26 you can see there. So those are your resistance levels. Nonetheless, it's still net positive news compared to yesterday. So I don't expect this to drop, let's say, below $23. You can see the prior resistance here on January 25th, and then again on January 30th at $23. 22, what did I say, 23? About 22.80. Yeah, about that 22.80 mark. That's your previous resistance. To me, that's like drop dead bottom support today because net, again, that's very positive news. So I guess the dips could be buyable here, but I'm not surprised at this price action that we're not up all day because, again, you dig into the details and it's not a clean $600 million cash coming into the company just yet. All right, that's the story with LAC. But I will say, I think I have a better way of playing it, and that's AMLI. Unfortunately, again, we can't show you the chart from TD Ameritrade, but this has been up. We played this really well. They had the uplisting news. Man, there were two. Oh, yeah, it was the original run was they're going to spin off their uranium asset. Ran big. We nailed that to the T. The second run, which we nailed again, was that they're going to be uplisting, and then they went through with the uplisting. We nailed that, like almost the bottom and the tops of these swing runs, like significant percentages. And now for about a week or so, it's been consolidating around 350, consolidating during a period where uranium has been on a tear. So let's look at URNM, the ETF for uranium. Uranium's gone up from this ETF from 35.50 to 37.50, and not a peep out of AMLI. I'm like, maybe people forgot they have a uranium spinoff, right? So that's uranium stock not reacting. And now you get lithium, and now you get this big lithium deal. You're getting stacked catalysts, which can really improve sentiment. And by the way, the lithium project that Tony told us this morning that AMLI is doing is in the same area of the LAC lithium project that GM is investing in. So now you got a couple catalysts that can raise sentiment in AMLI and get it out of this consolidation zone of $3.55. Again, I really, well, hold on. Let me see if I can actually, let's do this. I'm going to try to quickly, let's do this live here, unprepared, but we're going to share my screen on E-Trade. All right, let's do this together. Let's get a chart. Now we have a chart, proper chart, because TD sucks on this one. But wow, what an interesting chart. I don't even know what to make of this, except we broke this 338 resistance level right there. And to me, the next level is really re-challenging that $5. So I think this could be a swing to roughly $5. Now, it may take a big catalyst to get there, such as a date or a update on when they're going to spin off the uranium asset. But I really like the stack catalyst this morning. I added to my core position this morning at $3.55. And there it is. Okay. And we can see the bid is now 355 by 359. I have a feeling AMLI is going to have a great day. Doesn't mean LAC won't either. LAC, we went through the story, and there could be buy the dip opportunities. LLKF, another lithium stock. I just want to note that yesterday it broke above the 50-day moving average. Now, this is OTC, not as liquid, doesn't trade extended hours. So, a lot of people may not be interested in it, but I just want to note that pop over the 50 DMA looks kind of meaningful. And maybe the next target is 70 to 77 cents on a swing perspective. But we got other great ways to play lithium right now in LAC and AMLI. Now, some good news, great news out of Generac this morning. Oh, man, you don't know how bad I want to get into this, but I didn't yet. 114 by 116. We played Generac in the past for a nice big run from like 92 to like, oh, man, do you guys remember that? It was crazy. 92, it hit our like swing target of like over 100. I don't know what it was. It was a big move, and we got it in 2 days, and it was crazy. But now, okay, let's dig in here. We have resistance at 118 here, 117, 118. Okay, now here's the news that looks really interesting to me. Generac to expand this clean energy offering with the addition of residential electric vehicle chargers. Generac has a great brand, for their generators at home. I could really see, like, this is interesting to me. Like, if I had an EV, which I don't, I'm like, that's the product I want. Very reliable, good brand for at home energy, right? So Generac is the one I would pick up, and EV chargers, we know how hot this is right now. This is a huge, I think, industry. People always talk about, we got to build out all these EV charging stations. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? People forget. This is not like gasoline. You don't have to have the equivalent number of EV charger stations as you do gas stations. What if there's a whole revolution of people charging at home, charging every night when they come home? Maybe you only need a few EV charging stations out there. So this is something that's really, really good for sentiment for Generac. I think the resistance here about 118 or so. I think we're going to challenge that today. Is my guess based on this news. And there's also some other news. Another product announcement came out 5 minutes later, which I don't care that much about, but generator integration with Ecobee smart thermostats. So, Generac is really turning into a smart energy company. So this one I really like, and it also does have options. Are they weekly? Yep, they have weekly options. Let's see how they're fairly liquid weekly options. So this one is one Vegas might like today to trade if it takes off. And again, I think it might. So a couple other ones, a little penny stock, AIAD, which, did we have a great call on this, but I didn't play it. When they pre-announced, they said they're going to be like adjusted EBITDA positive this quarter or something like that. Like really good news fundamentally. That was at like down here at like 4 cents. It made a 50% move to 6 cents. But guess what? Now they have news implementation of Chat GPT from OpenAI. So here you have a penny stock with Chat GPT. Could get very interesting today. Again, this is OTC, doesn't trade extended hours, doesn't attract as much liquidity, but it's something to watch for a possible move to the 200 DMA. And then if it breaks it, maybe a move to 1 cent. So penny stock hype over Chat GPT. Now, another one, Plug, with news this morning, which the stock didn't react right away. And I was a little bit curious about that. So I did pick some up. I'm still holding this from pre-market. This Plug Power and Johnson Matthey announced a long-term strategic partnership to accelerate the hydrogen economy. And if you go look at these details, this looks like a legitimate partnership. It's not like a fluff PR. You can go and look at it, and I think they're publicly traded as well. And you can see here, Johnson Matthey is a $5 billion company with a 14 PE. So this is a legit company, a really legit relationship. And you can see here the strategic partnership between Plug and JM will support Plug in delivering its targeted revenue of $5 billion and $20 billion by 2026 and 2030. So this looks like material news coming out of Plug. So I jumped on it this morning. I'm still holding it. You do have this resistance here at about 1610 and then maybe 1650 the next level. We'll see what Vegas thinks. I think she's traded Plug before, so she may be more familiar with this company. BBBY, there was some news out from Routers that they may be preparing to file bankruptcy this week. It's not 100%. Last minute, they're trying to get some kind of deal that would avoid bankruptcy last minute here, but the clock is ticking. There's a good chance we see BBBY file for bankruptcy by the end of this week, and in which case it'll go to BBBYQ, and I expect it to trade 50 cents or under if that happens. So I still have my lottos on this, the puts on this, which are actually in the green. And I took some profits yesterday on those puts. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. I'm going to mention 3 more and then we'll move on. Okay. GNS, I actually sold this morning because I wanted to take that money and put it into those lithium plays I told you about. AMLI specifically is where most of that money went on GNS. Had a nice little pop at 550. Maybe there's more room in there. We'll see. But I made good money on that on like 3 trades the past weeks. I don't know if I'm going to push it. FRGT pulling back. It's still maybe holding support. Maybe still looks good for a swing trade to those levels we talked about yesterday. 50 cents or so. And then ultimately $1 possibility on FRGT. Now, we did last night have a great program on cannabis. I learned so much in 45 minutes from this guest we had who invests in cannabis stocks. He has a fund dedicated to cannabis stocks. That presentation is available to VIPs in our archives. In fact, which reminds me, if you're not a VIP, head over to StoryTrading.com and grab a 7-day risk-free trial. But we really learned a lot about Tilray, MSauce, and some of the great cannabis companies out there. I'm not going to give away all the details, except I'll say that GLASF is a cannabis company that's very interesting, and there was some relevant material news yesterday, which caused the stock to make a move from about 220 to 250. And based on that news yesterday, I don't think that move is over. Maybe it can make a move to $2.80 to $3 today. That's GLASF. Again, this one you got to be careful. All of the U.S.-based cannabis companies trade OTC. They're not even allowed to uplist yet until it's federally legal. So that's something you got to be aware of. But the details of why GLASF might be a good pick, plus 2 other really great U.S.-based picks for cannabis is in the presentation, in our archives, in our app for our VIPs. So head on over to StoryTrading.com to sign up for that and see that interview. And with that, we're going to bring on our friend Vegas. Vegas from I Love Stocks. Good morning. How are you doing, Vegas?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited because I think we found a couple great plays this morning. I already had a nice trade in LAC. I'm in Plug. Great big news on both of those. AMLI, I'm super excited about. GNRC, I want to get in. So that's where my head's at. Tell me what you're looking at.
Well, I love Plug Power. I mean, I've been in a swing trade with Plug Power because we also, as you guys know, like I like to follow the money. And so we have seen money flowing into Plug Power. I love to see this get over $16 today. If it can get over 16, if nobody's in it and they're looking to day trade it, then they would want to wait for $16 break. Room to 16.57, stop would be under 15.69. But we've been long on Plug Power. We have the we took the trade last week. We got the 17.50 calls, and with a stop under 12. So we have for February 17. So that we are in an active swing right now on Plug.
Nice.
They also
Well, we
had
got
an
some nice
annual
news. Hopefully, it gets
yeah, they had an annual business update too on Gen 25. So, and we saw a lot of flow too for March $25 calls, March 17. So, I mean, $25 strike. I mean, it's quite far from where it is right now. But yeah, so we saw a lot of action there on Plug Power, and a lot of money flowing in. So yeah, that's nice. Very nice.
Cool. What else catches your eye here? You look at Generac, LAC. They both had big news as well.
Well, no, I'm actually what's caught my eye this morning is General Motors. I mean, my gosh, look at the beautiful earnings and phenomenal guidance. I mean, hello, who would not want to trade General Motors? I mean, people always love Tesla.
Wow, look at that.
But you know what? Let's take a look at General Motors. I mean, what earnings? What an earnings play! And this is just done extremely well. So you know, General Motors looks great over this $38 today. Room to 39.75. So definitely do not take your eyes off General Motors. People always love the Teslas of the world, which by the way, I'm a big Tesla fan too. But you know what, let's not kid ourselves. General Motors is fabulous company. They're doing a great job, great guidance, and the market is loving this news. So definitely, you know, one to watch. Also, phenomenal earnings on Spotify. And so I am not in Spotify. I will not be trading Spotify because it's already made a nice move this morning. But one to watch. Spotify is really, really nice. Nice move there. One I'm watching for sure is for today as well. I'm definitely going to be watching NVIDIA over 191. So I think NVIDIA looks great. If it can continue and hold 191, this can head towards 194, 194.34. So definitely want to see this head towards those levels. A pretty nice move.
Today, the day before FOMC, without a catalyst specific to the company, you think that's in the cards still?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. As long as it stays over 191, there's room to 194.34. So as long as there's momentum, then it can go. We definitely don't want to see it go below 191. I mean, it has to hold 191 for those targets to be met. Another one to watch, one of my stocks that I kind of liked was CAT Construction. You know, CAT had earnings as well, but you know, I'm not gonna really day trade CAT today because it's just already made a move. It's been reversed. But the CEO was on TV and he said that he expects 2023 to be better than 2022 earnings per share and revenue. So we did start to see CAT reversing off those comments. It did reverse back towards 260, 265. It's kind of pulled back a little, so we'll have to see. But I will say my top watch today, because I know I've mentioned a couple stocks here. My top watch, and last one too I want to quickly mention is UPS, United Parcel Service. They had earnings as well, and we are seeing here United Parcel Service trading extremely well. I like to see this get back over 180, 116, room towards 183.50 and 186.38. So my top watch today, my number one trade that I'm going to be trading today will be General Motors. So definitely looking for General Motors. Second watch will be UPS, and we'll see how those play out. But my number one pick is going to be General Motors. So I'm just really loving this price action. Market loves the news, and there's still room for General Motors to hit a couple more targets on my watch list. So it is still tradable on GM. So room to 39.75. So good for another $1. So I'll take it, you know. So that's going to be my number one watch today. Is GM.
Bring that to our attention. It's something kind of off my radar because, you know, boring stock, you know, this EV revolution. So it's been off my radar. It's a nice pack and it has a very low PE over here at 6.4.
And you know what? And also add Ford. I mean, Ford's had a nice little pop off, you know, off the GM as well. So, you know, don't take Ford off your watch because, you know, Ford has a lot going for it too. And still very undervalued for what they have lined up and things like that. So definitely,
Ford is right at the 200 DMA. Look at that.
So
And
definitely
that's
keep
been
a
a
watch.
long-term resistance. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if it's going to break that, but if it breaks that 200 DMA, look, it's been a long-term resistance. What kind of target you see for it if it breaks that?
Let me just
Maybe the
pull
50
it up
week.
on my weekly chart here on Ford.
Yeah, the weekly's up at
So
1375
Ford
actually.
so Ford's trading right now at like 1329. So I'd love to see this get over. And it, by the way, looks really nice for a swing trade because it is over the 8 and 21 on the weekly, which I love. So if it can break 1358, I think we have a nice action coming. Could go to 1458, 1558, like $1 moves, and then
Hmm.
1651. And then if it was to ever break 1651, I mean, this can go towards, I would say 2129 and 2475. So I'm not saying it's going there right now because I mean, my gosh, that's a big float. So it would need like major volume and things like that. But I will say it's a good swing if it can get over 1358 today. Ford looks like a good swing, and my stop would
Awesome.
be around 1275.
I like the picks. I like the fundamentals on GM and the sympathy play on Ford. Good ideas from you. I would ask you though, take a look at Generac today, Vegas. It might be explosive. I think that news is great.
Yeah, which was what was the ticker again for Generac? GEN?
GNRC.
Sorry?
GNRC.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Generac Holdings. And what was the news on that one again? On GNRC?
The news is it expands its clean energy offering with the addition of residential electric vehicle chargers. So now you can buy
Nice.
Generac.
That's nice.
Right. Generators when you lose power in your house. That's what they're known for. At least here in the US, like everyone has them, at least in my area. So now they're making home EV chargers.
Nice. Well, that'll be good, especially if they're expecting everyone to convert to EV cars down the road. I like that it's over the 8 EMA here. So yeah, it looks good. I'll definitely keep a watch on this on Generac Holdings. Looks nice.
Let us know if you take a trade on it. It also has options that are very liquid, weekly options as well. So if you see something and you take it, keep us informed on that.
Let me take a quick look here at the options levels, just because the options it's trading right now, let's say around 115. So on GNRC, so definitely we want to try to go in the money on these calls. The 115 calls closed around 360 weeklies. So that may be a little pricey for a weekly. Maybe better off to go to a monthly and go to like a 120 contract, which I think is safer. And those closed around 430, but with the action this morning, those could gap up. So I'll definitely watch, I think, GNRC more for a monthly contract, not really for day trade. It's just the contract price will be probably the IV
monthly
will pop.
February 17th, right? Yeah, February 17th.
Yeah, the monthly Feb 17s look better,
safer
as well, especially like if you're swing trading the stock, you might as well just go into a monthly in GNRC. So but I'm gonna focus I'm gonna be on GM this morning because I just love the news, love the chart, love the whole thing. So yeah,
sounds great. Love your versatility,
really
your ability to jump from like exciting companies to boring companies. That's awesome, Vegas. So make sure you guys can follow.
Exciting.
you can follow Vegas at I Love Stocks One on Twitter. She has her own community as well, mostly trading options there, having a lot of fun, making a lot of money. And with that, wish you guys a great trading day. Vegas, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Have a great day. And make sure also you can sign up for StoryTrading at StoryTrading.com with a 7-day risk-free trial. Good luck, everyone.